Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sexy Nerd Science Season 5, Episode 12. I'm Drew here, as always, with Josh and Dale. And this is Dale, and this is Josh, or whichever way the screen is. Say hi, guys.
Hello there.
Hi, guys.
There you go. Dale did it for the first time ever.
Your character.
So we're going to switch things up today. We're going to also talk about a bunch of junk. And we got a good show for you, like always. Dale is repping his Sexy Nerd Science shirt. Josh is repping his Sexy Nerd Science shirt. And I'm rocking the glasses today, which is different than last week because I think Josh was rocking the glasses. I was rocking not a Sexy Nerd Science shirt.
Your schmedium.
My schmedium. And Dale is rocking skin.
Yes. Just a reminder, guys, you can get Sexy Nerd Science shirts at Teespring. Links are always in the description of every place you can find this video and audio stuff.
And the t-shirts, which is what you started that sentence with.
You go to teespring.com/SexyNerdScience.
So we're going to get into some holy news. Some people holier than thou. Dale, this is kind of brought up by you, so I'll let you lead the pack on this one.
Yeah, so Weekly Geekly posted this. It wasn't them who posted, or wasn't
they shared
them who wrote the article, but they shared it. And so what it's an article about is apparently people are drawing dicks. They're spray painting dicks around potholes, and they're doing this in order to get the city or the county or wherever the potholes are to get filled in quicker, because they're going to wherever they go out there anyway to go fix or to go clean it up. So probably going to go fix the pothole as well.
So real quick, Dale, do you have the article pulled up or available? Or
yeah, I can get it real quick.
I just want to know if it was in a heavily populated area or if it was like a smaller town.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a place like Los Angeles or Chicago or New York or any place like that.
There's potholes in LA.
I don't know. I mean, people. I'm sure hobos live in those potholes in LA.
I think LA's not temperature changey enough. Temperate, is that the word? Temperate enough?
Doesn't have climate changes,
which is one of the main causes of potholes.
It was a small town called Middlesbrough in the United Kingdom.
In the UK.
So it's a UK. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the article.
Okay, the article. I'm okay, but you UK.
It's not in Oklahoma.
So I just want to know, based on that, if there is a geographical reason for that. I'm pretty sure UK is a little more lax with its I don't want to say it's sexual policy. Like they
outlawed porn.
I was like, yeah, it's completely the opposite.
Yeah. You can show titties on the BBC, but you can't have porn on, like, you have to use a VPN to get porn in the UK.
Really?
Yeah. That's brand new as of early this year, late last year.
So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was always under the impression, and maybe this was
prior. They were European, so they're all loosey-goosey.
Not loosey-goosey, but definitely
loosey-goosey.
With their morals, not like...
Yeah, not their nether bits. So dicks around potholes. Dale, this is an age-old debate, the pothole debate, whether or not the city should take care of them abruptly or not. So do you think that it is different than the planting flowers that has been seen in the United States?
So prior to this podcast, me and Drew were talking about it. I've never heard of that before, of planting flowers. I think that is a better way to do it. But what I would do is I would go the whole thing. So I would make a mound or something to cover the pothole full of dirt.
That's primarily what's happening. So and it may just be through memes. I don't know if anybody's actually doing it or if there's a rogue.
Let's see.
Flower potter that's running around potting flowers in their whole town.
Can someone look up the person who plants flowers, what that's called? Like, I'm sure it's not a botanist, obviously, but that's someone who works with plants.
Yeah, people are doing it.
What's a potter?
A potter is somebody who potter's pots.
Florist?
I mean, I guess it's a florist, but I thought there would be another term.
Somebody did it in Hamtramck.
Hamtramck, really?
Yeah.
Groundskeeper?
This
Anyway.
is from WXYZ Channel 7 ABC News.
So I know that Michigan is notorious for potholes from where I've seen memes from like other places. And Michigan is one of those places. I actually haven't like known Nebraska to be terrible for potholes. Like, I mean, we have them pretty bad. And this year I think it was way worse than anywhere else in the country.
See, here's the
we
issue.
made national news this year.
We did. Here's okay. So let's round back to the topic, and then we can kind of diffy back to potholes. So they're drawing dicks around these potholes to force the government to deal with them in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I understand it. However, I don't think that it's the right way to go, because it is a permanent vandal. I mean, they would have to cut out more or clean up more than just fill it with asphalt.
I don't think that the because the asphalt, they just spread around on top. It would be like a layer.
Well,
I think they would just take a power washer to it. I don't even think they would fix the hole in the United States.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think they would, especially in Michigan. I think they would just come out there with a power washer,
make it worse by adding water to the pothole.
Yeah, and they would just spray it down and try to get it off. Or worst case scenario, they would paint over it with like a gray or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I don't think they would actually do anything more than that.
So I definitely don't disagree with that. I was more so wanting to. There's more issue with painting than there is with putting flower pots in. That being said, you still got to do cleanup on both parts. However, the dirt that gets filled in the pot can substantially decrease the depth of the pothole for a temporary amount of time, and I think that's kind of the point behind it. Is they're filling them. They're just filling them. I mean, either way, there's extra work that needs to be done by the city and the government's, crews. So I don't think either way is the best way to go. I think the best way to go is Domino's route and give cities grants to fill their potholes.
I agree.
Do you guys know, like,
you think it's businesses' responsibility to give grants to the city?
No. I think that
the city gives grants to people. They pay for other companies, private businesses to do it.
No, because what Domino's did was Domino's gave cities grants to fill potholes.
Yes.
And I don't think that that's the correct...
For advertising rights, basically. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the correct way. Like, I don't think that that's the way to go, but I think it's the better way to go than to... vandalize or create an inconvenience, potterize.
So I understand like a pothole or two, like we pass them all the time, but for the most part you can kind of avoid them. The parts that I don't like are like when especially there's like big stretches of road that are just constantly bumpy. We have a road by our house called Greenfield, and it's just constantly like the whole way you're going down it, you're hitting a pothole, because what they do is there'll be a pothole or two on a crease of the concrete or the creak of the asphalt, and then that'll get filled in with asphalt, and then that'll come out along with taking off more of it, and that'll get filled in with asphalt.
So I was gonna ask if you guys know what causes the potholes to happen, not just besides freezing and stuff.
So it's two things. One is so if freezing makes the holes that are already there get bigger, freezing and then melting and stuff like that. But actually, so what Dale was even saying, so when you do fill it with usually some sort of, either a quick set concrete or you'll use a asphalt for it. But then you're left with a little bump. And when you have that bump, what happens is your tire hits that bump and actually leaves the pavement ever so slightly. And then after that, it crashes down on the other end. And the repetitiveness of that happening actually leads to more potholes in succession. So then you get these long stretches of roads that have like...
Well, actually, it's also with what they use it with. I know a lot of concrete roads that they fill with asphalt, and asphalt is it doesn't
adhere to concrete.
Well, it's not even that it doesn't adhere, because they use tar and they try to stick it to it. Because it's not solid. I mean, to us it's solid, but it's not with a car's force.
Box.
When the car's force onto the asphalt, it moves. It actually think of it like a water bed. You push over here, it comes up over here.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's doing. You're pushing here, and it's pushing on the areas that it can't go. Where if you were to cut out and replace it with concrete, so it doesn't, you have a flat surface pressing against a flat surface, it's more stable than if it was to just
which they, I mean, I think, giving them credit, they understand that that's the case, but
that's the more permanent
that's
solution.
the more permanent solution in a timely manner. Do you know, Josh, why Bellevue has less potholes than Omaha?
I'm going to say concrete filling in roads instead of asphalt.
No. We've been doing this thing for about the past 5 years. Well,
Drew says we because Drew at one point in time used to be a pothole filler in Bellevue.
No. I mean, we as in Bellevue, people who live in Bellevue instead of Dale. But
that too.
Bellevue has been, the collective we has been doing this thing for probably the last, I would say 8 years, where they have been paving the entire roads. They grind it down and they pave it every 2 or 3 years with a thick layer of asphalt. That asphalt gives way to no cracks, so there's no separation in concrete, which means that the concrete doesn't heave with the cold in different sections. So when that happens and the one concrete raises higher than the other, and then those plows go across it, those plows chunk a big chunk out on those seams.
Yeah.
And then that starts that whole process that you guys are talking about, where you fill it and then it gets bigger and fill it and gets bigger and fill it gets bigger. Or, another plow goes by and chunks another piece out.
Pulls the asphalt out.
But Bellevue, because they don't have any seams like that, they're substantially less, they're using substantially less downward force on the asphalt because it's a smooth surface. So they can use less force downward to clean it more efficiently.
It also has a big effect on the speed of how fast people are going.
Yeah.
In the area.
One of the reasons why Roman roads lasted for so long, because people always this is the biggest misconception I see a lot. People point to cobblestone and then ancient Roman roads, and they're like, these have been around for 2,000 years and don't have potholes. And it's because they're not meant to have speeding cars driven on them that are excessive in weight.
And then also the stopping power.
Yeah.
A lot of the pothole area, at least that I'm familiar with, usually happens within a turn or within an area that people are constantly speeding up or constantly slowing down.
Yeah.
And so you have that ripple effect of the acceleration.
Yeah.
So
equals more force.
So
which is force equals
science. Oh, we didn't switch to science. My bad.
Dang. So yeah, do I think dicks around potholes is a good idea? Not necessarily. Is it probably getting the job done? Yeah, but I don't think it's the correct way to go.
I don't think it's getting the job done. So my biggest example.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. But
in Omaha, when we first started paying for crews to fix our potholes, Omaha City hired 12 crews. 4 of them showed up to work, and the rest of them just didn't show up. It had nothing to do with the city being like the city's like, hey, we're doing our due diligence. We're going to contract out this work. And the majority of people they contracted to work out to were just undependable private contractors. Are like, I don't want to show up to work today. And that's actually the same problem that Omaha has with their plow team too, as well, because they don't have city plows. They contract out for plows.
Yeah. So, I said,
your tax dollars smarter, Omaha.
Yeah.
We don't live there, so I don't pay taxes.
Yeah, we don't pay taxes there, so that's not our deal.
Bellevue doesn't do it too much either. We're about to not have a fire department for much longer.
Well, but the thing is, we'll still have the volunteer department, and that's kind of, like you said, it's whoever wants to show up. But I think Bellevue being just even though it's literally Omaha adjacent, we still have kind of a little bit more integrity than Omaha as far as the people.
Structural and personal.
Structural, yeah, exactly. So, but like I said, I don't think any way of going about it is necessarily the best way. But if it's working, then cool. If it's not, then you're just doing it to be dicks.
Yeah. Now let's skip pop cultural literature and go to their next question real quick here.
Did you see how that worked?
Dicks.
Yeah.
He said you're just being dicks because they drew dicks.
Yeah.
Was that a pun?
It was a fun
90% of this podcast is puns.
So
speaking of dicks,
yeah. So there's a bunch of people who are pretty up in arms about new Mortal Kombat 11 game that just came out.
Lack of dicks
and the lack of the ability to get their dicks hard, apparently. So all of the female characters who weren't previously wearing outfits and stuff that were covering them up. Most of the more revealing characters' costumes have been kind of buttoned up and cleaned up for Mortal Kombat 11. And that's kind of drawn some outrage based on some people. A lot
more
of
violence, less boobies.
Yeah, I mean, so we had
they were given normal cup sizes from what I've seen, less jiggle physics, better.
I didn't hear anything about the jiggle physics. All I saw was strictly about the costumes,
the skins and stuff.
Yeah, but that being said, yeah, I mean that's
there was a lot of it toned down. I mean, it really was. I mean, this game is not meant to be like sexual females fighting each other.
So do you think that
are alive?
Yeah.
So do you think that actually strengthens the characters themselves? Like there's this group that I watch on YouTube, and they literally talk about how like you can have this breastplate for a man that covers everything, and then when they have it for a woman, it's just the bra or just the bra area.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're not looking
practically yes.
It's basically that. But my experience with the game is that
I was looking at you.
Sorry. Oh, you like looked at me like it looked like you.
I'm listening to your experience of the game.
So my experience with the game is always, the characters are going to fight the same. I mean, they're fighting the same way. You can change the skins on the characters, any fighting game. So you have Marvel versus DC or Capcom or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Street Fighter versus Capcom or whatever. Any Marvel or what is it? Marvel versus Capcom. That's
Marvel versus Capcom.
Marvel versus Capcom, and then the DC Universe fighting games. Street Fighter versus DC Universe.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So any of those, you're gonna have multiple skins. They have skins that change the character's complete makeup. So you have Supergirl who ends up being Power Girl in a different skin, and like you have Red Hulk, Green Hulk. I mean, you have all these different color changing skins, but their movesets typically stay the same. They're just called different things, and they have a little bit different animation. It's not going to affect the game any by having a little bit more coverage on your boobies. So the biggest
Mortal Kombat 11, what they were quoted as saying is like they wanted people to be, what would somebody in this environment, realistically, what would they be wearing?
And that's the point.
And that's exactly like what Dale kind of said. I mean, it's not, you're not going to wear a little tiny breastplate just to cover up the nipples, like you're going to have like a full breastplate or, in this case, full covered uniform because, you don't need stuff popping out while you're trying to fighty.
We've definitely seen a lot of that already take shape in cosplays, people who do their own, like females in particular who do their own armor cosplays. They say, okay, well, I'm not going to wear just the bra and panties armor. I'm going to do full sets of armor male and stuff like that.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Which is exactly true. I mean, you're going to have more coverage, in that sense, but you're also going to actually physically be more protected. Obviously, video games, it's an arbitrary. You're assigning an arbitrary defense number to somebody's their armor, but when you actually implement that in a real world setting, you can definitely see that there's lower impact on the protection when you actually do that. So if you want to make a realistic game, then you make realistic armor. We've got Brianna Tarth who's wearing full plate, and nobody's complaining that she's
Captain Phasma
and Captain. Yeah, well, she's the same person
exactly.
But I mean, you're basically nobody's complaining that she doesn't have her boobies out.
Well, and I think that one of my biggest thing is so like with Stormtrooper armor too. Like if you were to Google like female Stormtrooper, like a lot of times you'll see just like bare midriffs and stuff like that, and like to show that it's female instead of just being like, oh look, it looks exactly like another stormtrooper.
Yeah, I mean you make some room in the plate mail for some boobies, like, but you don't have to like make room just with the like breast cup and that's it.
Yeah, and I think
I have some images of some Mortal Kombat.
All right, show it up.
I think this is art inspired or like reality inspired art, not art to inspire reality.
So are these the actual like?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I just found it from a website, but this is a good example. Like it goes from one to the other.
Yeah.
So in here, you look at a bikini top that's being held together with leather straps showing side boob and under boob and stomach to, full breastplate with, in all honesty, wicked awesome breastplate, but like,
yeah, I mean
covering everything, a cowl.
And
it looks like her skin is different too. Like it looks like it's red eyes and like green skin. And then if you look right here,
that's what
see. Like looks like this is the breastplate itself. Then you have leather straps and then like a t-shirt or a shirt of some kind underneath, and then her actual skin.
Yeah. And it looks like that kind of rolls around to the back in like right underneath of her pit, which is, I mean, whatever. And then she's also got, looks like more
side.
But I was gonna say on her wrists and her bracers.
Yeah.
So she's got more stuff there too that go higher up on her arms.
And then this tells the story better too, I think. I mean, because if you're going to send people from different universes to fight for their lives and the fate of the universe, you're going to want well armored.
Dale, do you have any other examples?
I do.
Scroll through. Oh yeah, I like seeing that costume is badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that costume,
and it's practical.
I mean, I'm assuming she's now an assassin because of it.
Yeah, but like I mean, she's got full leather all the way, full arm, full leather, and she's in like a sports bra on the other side.
Yep. And then one more I have.
Look at those. What are the shoulder armors called? I can't remember.
Quarter, whichever. Oh, and Cassie Cage was a big one that they did. I think even like the last couple games they kind of bumped her up a little
10,
bit.
Yeah,
10. Yeah, she had some like maybe like a bulletproof vest. Her arms are a little bit more bare.
Like a riot suit almost.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that people are saying it's not. Mortal Kombat's not supposed to be PC and everything like that, which. I get
it's definitely not.
It's definitely not PC.
There's more murder, more blood and gore in.
But I think it's just like stupid to even stand on it. Like, yeah, we get it that it's less sexual, but is that the point of the game?
No, and that's the thing.
That's for the creators to decide.
And honestly, and this is my point about it, is it didn't get banned or it wasn't supposed to have that mature rating for the sexual content in the first place. In 1992, when it got the mature rating and it literally forced the ESRB to come into fruition because there was no entertainment rating system or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment ratings board,
whatever.
Yeah, it's
ESRB. We know.
Yeah, so there was no ESRB before Mortal Kombat forced the ESRB to come into play, and what they did was for the graphic content as far as blood, guts, gore, violence. Like you're literally ripping somebody's skull off or burning.
Spines?
Yeah, and their spines dangling. Like the fatalities are what put that into motion, not the boobies jiggling around or anything. Granted, there was some talk about in the fighting games.
Did you just say granite?
I said granted.
No, I just
granite.
Rick and Morty.
Did you say granite? So granted, there was a lot of talk about single frames of characters in those games, like Chun-Li from Street Fighter, where you could apparently see a 64-bit or 32-bit no panties vagina in a single frame of her roundhouse kick action. And I think it was who was it?
They had 8-bit naked Samus.
Well, that too, but like that's not what that ESRB was for.
No.
And that's not what the mature rating was for. It was for the blood, guts, violence, and gore. And you're still getting that in MK11. You have to be 18 or 17 in most states to buy that or have an adult come with you. Like, I mean, it's there. It's still the same game. It's not gonna waver on that just because
you play Mortal Kombat 1 on Sega, or did you play it on Nintendo?
I had both.
That was one distinction. Sega allowed blood, whereas the
Nintendo made their blood green.
Yeah, didn't allow like blood. They had like weird stuff going on.
It was guts because it was all green. They had done a color filter to make all the red green. Even so much as to where I think the word fatality was, instead of being red, it was also green. But I believe so. I don't.
It's been a long time since I played. I played Mortal Kombat like 2 on Sega, and then that was it.
They asked me to download this game or to play it with them.
I forgot. I packed all that up. I have the cartridge. Let's see if we. Anyway,
speaking of letting it all hang out.
Yeah, speaking of letting it all hang out.
Coachella happened a couple weeks ago. A large music festival in the desert.
Yeah, a lot of people sweating and swinging and dangling and dinging,
doing drugs.
But do we mean dinging? They were dinging a whole lot.
I hate this like national news, but apparently I didn't actually get the real numbers here. I think Drew's looking them up here just double check. Mm-hmm. But this year's Coachella was known for one of the largest outbreaks of herpes from Coachella before. Just a lot of free love going on, and I have nothing against free love. And God, I don't want to be this guy. It's really hard to like stigmatize herpes because it's such a common thing.
Hold on.
But it's just one of those things where like I'm just like, hey guys, just got to make sure we're careful. And I don't think people were being careful at Coachella. But
so this article is saying that there was apparently the inquiries on an app jumped from about 12 people per day to about 250 people per day for the Coachella timeframe. So people were, it's not actually
documented
cases.
People being like, I think I have herpes.
But a lot of people, like, I mean,
which makes more sense.
Significant spike of people saying that they did. However, that
would be really, I mean, since people from all over the world come to Coachella as well, I think it would be really hard to like track too, because all those people, before they start showing signs, will have then gone back to their normal states and countries of origin and then go see their local doctors.
Yeah, so it looks like they're saying
so good it's not a massive outbreak of herpes.
Despite recent reports that an app designed to diagnose and treat the sexually transmitted infection saw a near 10-fold uptick in cases in Southern California during the festival. The person that's speaking in the article says, I reached out to our lab department of disease control and our HIV and STD program, and none of them reported a spike in cases of herpes. It's based all solely on an app called Herp Alert, a 2-year-old smartphone app and web portal for diagnosing and treating genital herpes and cold sores. After paying $79, users answer a few questions and take a picture of the area on their body where they believe to experience an outbreak. So this is literally a predatorial app.
No, it's not. It definitely sounds like it's.
Are you kidding me? You pay $79. You pay $80 and you take a picture of your dick and send it to, or your vagine and send it to a place.
Yeah,
you're paying.
There's actually quite a few health apps out there for like even cancer screenings where you take pictures of melanomas on the skin and you pay money for it, and they usually keep those photos private. But what they're doing is they're using machine learning to diagnose what it looks like. So then just by off a picture, you can set it in, then they can be like, hey, there's a 90% chance that you have herpes.
I don't know, man. I think Herp Alert is not the you need to have like the CHI health app or like something like that, not Herp Alert. Like
The CHI Health app does not do that, by the way. I have the CHI Health app.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You need
Medicine app
you
too.
need, you need the legitimate doctor app, not Herp Alert.
But it's not usually not a doctor app that's doing it. It's a third-party company that's like, hey, we want to do machine learning and then sell this product to other companies like that. So, I mean, I'm sure there's privacy rules. Someone check the Herp Alert privacy rules.
Yeah. Dale.
In fact, Herp Alert, if you're listening.
I'm not checking that. I agree with you, Drew.
If you're listening, let me know so I can. I'm going to check to see where this goes. We'd love to have you on the podcast.
Just join it based on how much extra intercourse you have, Josh.
Shut up.
Extramarital intercourse, you said?
Wow. First of all, I don't like that. They got the wrong symbol for the HPAA here.
Yep. See,
doesn't have that. It has the.
So what are we saying, Josh? What's the general consensus?
Be fair, so does the Nebraska Medicine. So, but they've got the catechist.
We should talk about that one time.
The catechist or Sclerotis Asclepius? We have before. It super bothers me.
The lowdown. I'm not fucking sending my junk to somebody that says the lowdown. Here's the lowdown. How Herp Alert works.
See, I think right now we're borderline. Just be honest, we're borderline isn't stigmatizing people with herpes, which shouldn't be.
I'm not stigmatizing. I'm stigmatizing literally Herp Alert.
What does stigmatizing mean?
So we're making it a big
bad
deal
thing
to have herpes, is what it sounds like.
It is bad thing.
When this is a way to be discreet and dependable. The problem is, Dale, the chances of you having herpes are fairly common in the United States.
Here's my question is like, isn't it bad? Isn't it still a bad thing to have?
Not necessarily.
How is it not a bad thing?
Because you might be getting a breakout once every 15 years, and then
that's still bad.
Be able to spread it again. But I mean, are cold sores bad?
Yeah.
Chickenpox bad?
Both.
Why?
Because the
chickenpox, usually run a high fever with them and can be bad.
What I'm saying is because it's something you don't want, it's considered bad.
Here's the thing. It is not a life. It's not a life-threatening issue.
No.
However, it is still not something that people are going out actively trying to get, which is why 250 people a day were sending their junk to Herp Alert trying to see if they got herpes. That being said, the as seen in is TMZ, WebMD, and whatever this MCouch TS thing is.
I don't know either.
But those are three sources that I don't think should be credible.
So for those of you guys listening that aren't just looking at the website like we are, it does advertise discreet and dependable diagnosis and treatment for the herpes simplex virus. And I'm assuming, go up. It even has a HIPAA thing. As a HIPAA compliant company, so they are HIPAA compliant, so they cannot share your personal information with other people, which includes pictures of your body. Our goal is to get you through the online diagnosis and prescription process in under 2 hours so you can start your medication before your symptoms worsen.
Here's the thing.
Wait, they can prescribe medicine?
I'm assuming so if they're HIPAA compliant too, which means there's a team of doctors.
So there has to be medical doctors there then. Or to write the prescription.
I don't think that, as terrible of a name as Herp Alert is.
I think it's a great name. I just think I was on Drew's side. I was like, that sounds a little fishy.
Here's the thing. If Apple, how long has Apple been around?
20
years. How long has the iPhone been around?
10 years, 11 years now.
Apple can have its system hacked because and leak however many thousands of photos got leaked.
Yeah, but then you're saying that about any type of
the CHI could be hacked.
Most of the modern day medicine is.
What I'm saying is a 2-year-old company who specifically deals in genital pictures,
diagnosing herpes.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
Why does it matter?
If I agree with Josh now, because if they are HIPAA compliant and they do have if they are prescribing medicine, then they have to meet standards.
Looking at these either.
But what I'm saying is, if your information and your dick pic or your vagine pic is associated with it,
be related via HIPAA, you cannot have those two things in connection with each other. You're just a random dick pic and then another random name in the system. As far as the system's concerned, there's two different numbers. Those are two different people as far as HIPAA violations are concerned. Because HIPAA makes it very anonymous for things like that.
I guess I'm not up to date on HIPAA compliance.
It's insane, actually. In fact, I think HIPAA goes a little too far. But
well, what I'm saying is, if they can say, okay, John Q. Doe is on Herp Alert, and one of these thousands of pictures is John Q. Doe's dick, then that's one. If all somebody has to do is hack through that, looking for that either for blackmail or those purposes, and for a 2-year company to not have, or for a 30-year company, Apple, to be able to be hacked, I don't think a 2-year company is going to have.
I think the year of the company is irrelevant.
Every company is capable of being hacked. Your
Exactly.
credit card company is capable of being hacked, and it will do far more damage to you to have your credit card information out there than a picture of your genitals will.
Look at the what's it called?
Especially a medical.
No. Like here's the thing though, is nobody's wanted to. Oh, I don't say nobody. I said I feel like more people would want to hurt themselves due to embarrassment than to their credit being defunct.
I mean, but like if you steal your identity and go through and like ruin someone's life financially and personally that way. I mean, stealing someone's identity is almost
stealing
just
someone's
as bad
identity, but if somebody gets my
as
credit
having
card,
I think we're getting off track now. I think the point is that we were talking that I don't care. It doesn't matter how old the company is, as long as they meet the standards up to cyber encryption, HIPAA, and they have doctors. It sounds like a legit company. It could legitly help people.
maybe.
I'm glad we talked about this because I thought this was going to be like, oh my God, there's 11,000 cases of herpes from Coachella. And it turned
And the next topic. Yeah.
that's not as cool, but let's talk about other stuff. So online herpes treatment. Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Yeah, please do.
Also, go to Herp Alert if you feel like you need to diagnose. This is not brought to you by Herp Alert, but I guess, if you want to share your junk on Herp Alert,
I would encourage everyone to use Herp Alert at this point in time. If you're curious and don't want to go talk to your doctor,
I would rather just pay.
Snap a
I would
picture.
just rather just pay my copay and go talk to the doctor.
Good.
I guess if you're at Coachella in the middle of
would
the
too.
desert, then
If you're at Coachella, you're not one. I'm never mind. I'm not gonna go down that path.
you don't. If you're at Coachella,
Honestly,
you don't
like,
care
guys,
about
like,
You
herpes.
don't care about herpes.
which is actually probably a benefit for some people. I think some people would be embarrassed to talk to their doctor about it, but some people will be less embarrassed by letting a stranger who does not know you personally, who's anonymously diagnosing these things, because he's not like being like, oh, this is
Why do you think
Jessica
I have 20?
from Wisconsin.
I
Why do you
agree
think
with
I have 20 primary doctors?
I agree with you, Josh, and I think that's why that company could thrive. But I also would want to have my doctor be like, "Oh, yeah, you need to. I'm looking at this, and this looks bad." Instead of like, you know what, that picture's a little weird. Maybe you should take more pictures or something like that. But let's move on, guys, because we are running short on time.
Cool. All right.
All right, so
are we
this
doing
week-
pop culture literacy.
That's true. We this week we're going to switch it up, like I mentioned earlier. So Dale,
Is
do
Dale
you
asking me
have Josh's pop culture literacy question?
I do, and I try to think of the most pop culture reference. This might not count at all, but I want to know what game. I'm gonna give you game. What game does the meme "Here we go again" come from?
Here we go again?
Yep.
Can you describe this meme? Because I have not seen a Here we go again meme.
It's a guy walking down the street, and he's fed up, and he's like, "Aw, shit, here we go again."
What game?
What game?
Like, is there a way you can show me this meme without giving away what the game
I'm gonna
is?
look at it.
Okay.
No, not really. I mean, I'm going to show it to you anyway because
I don't think I've seen this meme before.
okay.
I know what it is.
Do you know what that is just based on the image?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just take this image. I want to save it. Here we go again.
I'm trying to think of like, I'm thinking now maybe it might be like a game show and not an actual.
It is a
game.
fairly new meme.
It's a fairly new meme.
Yes, because that's why I think we should all these pop culture should be more updated. But so this is the meme, and he's walking down the street. This is a still shot of it.
Jeez. That looks like a Grand Theft Auto. Oh man, which one? San Andreas.
Yeah, you're right.
But I've never seen
Grand
that.
Theft Auto Andreas.
It's new as of like last week.
Like, I get like.
So do you have a couple real quick, Dale? Do you have a couple on deck for that you can hear?
Yes, I do. Okay, give me a second. Sorry, I have to.
I'm usually pretty good with memes, but I've never seen that meme in my life yet.
So we'll do this, and then we'll go like this, and then we'll go like.
The Grand Theft Auto was originally released in October of 2004.
Am I sharing the right thing, guys?
Yes,
yeah.
It looks like cell facing.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Here we go again. Meme compilation.
Yep. So,
did someone just screen cap this from a YouTube video?
Yeah.
Well, no, he's.
So, do you guys hear it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hold on. Let me figure this out.
We don't need to hear it.
No, we need to hear it.
You can send it to me, and I'll open it up. Because then
I need you guys to be quiet for a second.
Okay.
When we look at this.
Here we go again.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Oh shit! Here we go again. Oh shit! Here we go again.
So, did you guys hear that?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Okay.
That's pretty good. All right.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty much just like different things of, oh shit, here we go again. And
That's
stupid.
I don't want to say
It's stupid.
I just don't know how pop culture that could be.
I mean, I think that I mean, first of all, you won, so it doesn't matter. But two, I think that it's definitely, like I said, when I envisioned pop culture literacy, I thought it would be something that was like not well known, but recent. But for Dale, we could go back as far as like 5 years, and he still wouldn't know.
Go back to the fucking 70s. I would have no fucking clue.
So it's really one of those Things. But I think what Dale was trying to do is trying to get Josh in something that he might not know yet because it's new, not as so. I think it was
definitely a new meme to me.
Yeah.
I just knew.
But I've seen it, Dale, and I agree. It's not it's not very new. It's like was as of like last week.
Yeah.
Ooh, but I've seen the compilations already.
Pop in your area.
What?
No one. Good orange, vanilla, Coke Zero.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Mine's gone.
Love it.
Okay, so let's move on to Drew's segment.
Yeah.
All right. So we are. Do we want to do that at the end, like we do all the other ones?
No.
Okay. All right. So we are going. We're gonna call it this. We're gonna call it that.
I think we should. I like that. I like that.
We'll just do it. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into our new segment called Nerd Battle.
Woo-hoo.
So Josh and Dale have sent me just as of yesterday. So we didn't have very much time to plan, or I didn't have much time to research. But however,
I sent my stuff days ago.
It was Friday, not Saturday. So so anyway, so Josh and Dale sent me characters unbeknownst to each other, separate, and it's really funny. I'll tell you. So Josh sent me his, then Dale sent me his, and they don't know who each other picked. So
but the only thing we got was this is a battle of wits.
So it's a battle of wits.
Two characters.
So, and like I said, because I didn't have much time to prepare like a whole spiel, and we'll fix that on our end. However, Josh,
we still get a chance to defend.
We still get a chance to defend. However, Dale's character was General Iroh from The Last Airbender.
Oh shit!
And Josh's character was Major General from the Pirates of Penzance.
From what?
From the Pirates of Penzance.
Never heard of it.
So
He is the very model of a modern major general.
So here's the thing. General Iroh is really cool, and I like him. I'm more familiar with him than Major General. However, just basically due to ranks, Major General outranks General Iroh. And that's who the win's going to go to.
What? So who is this guy?
Dale, do you want a rebuttal?
Yeah, I would say that rank is not everything. I would say that he is more spiritually connected, which means that he's more intelligent. So I don't know who I'm fighting against. I don't know who this guy is.
The person who I picked, since you don't know, so there's a musical that came out, and there's a song that's associated with this musical, sung by a major general. And in the song, he talks about how he's a very model of a modern major general, and he is informative in vegetable, animal, and mineral. He knows the kings of England, and I quote, the fight's historical.
How old is this?
1880s is when the play came out.
Well, yeah, I can imagine because there's a queen of England.
So I know the kings of England, and I quote, the fight's historical. From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted, too, with matters mathematical. I understand equations, both the simple and quadratical, about binomial theorem and teeming with a lot of news, with many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. And there's like 4 verses of this, but it's so funny because he talks about how he knows all about King Arthur and the aristocrats. The one thing that I will say this here, so he's very well versed in battle knowledge. So modern, like anything from ancient to modern battle knowledge. So he says,
is this a real guy then?
No, but I mean, in the 1800s.
And also, we're fictional characters, so he's a fictional character.
Okay.
So he says, he knows what is meant by Mamelon and Ravelin, which are...
He's basically rattling off that he's a know-it-all.
Yeah. And so in this song, you can tell a difference at sight between a Mauser rifle and a javelin. He knows precisely what is meant by commissariat. He knows more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery. In short, when I've surmattered all of elemental strategy.
So my question is,
General,
is there any other knowledge you have, who this person is, than this song?
I mean, yeah, I've seen the musical before. And
it's literally, he's just a character in a musical.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but the idea behind his character was that he knows literally everything.
Almost everything.
So my question is, in the musical itself, does he show wit?
Technically, yes.
How?
Not in
the song.
He's defending, it's basically him and a bunch of people defending against pirates.
And so he shows wit in what way?
By defeating pirates. In practical battle.
So
it's a musical, so it's not like there's an
actual battle, or is it like a...
It's a musical battle, Dale. So you got to think that there's not actually a way where he's I'm lifting this heavy thing.
Well, that'd be a battle of strength, not a battle of wit.
But even if we just took everything he said to be true,
why would we take it to be true?
Why would we doubt it?
Because we need proof.
We don't need proof. These are fictional
proof. We need proof.
Dale, it's fictional.
That's the point of the battle.
What does General Iroh do?
He stands up for the rights of nature. And he stands up. He protects the moon spirit that one time, and the moon spirit in the fake world.
How do we know that there's a moon spirit?
Because we see it. We see it in the show.
Actual evidence.
Yes, we do. We see it in the show.
You see him do it.
Yes, we see him.
I love Uncle Iroh. He is one of my favorite characters ever. He is a general.
Please say general. Thank you.
He is a general in the Fire Nation Army. In fact, he is also a prince of the Fire Nation.
I did extensive research for about 15 minutes on which rank is higher.
Well, of course the rank's higher, but I'm not
general or major general. There's actually a discrepancy between lieutenant general.
Fucking Naruto is the lowest rank in the show, but he can kick everybody's ass that's higher rank than him.
Yeah, but that's you're
That's Hukage's. Come on, get out
hold
of
on.
here.
First of all, that's a physical battle. We're talking about a battle of wits.
Yes, but in any military, all you need to do is have more time than the next person.
But if your rank is different,
That's not all you need, but yeah, your rank is different. But that's not just all about intelligence.
so
It's
hold on,
also about achievements.
Dale. I don't care if you're smarter than me. If I outranked you, would you have to do what I said?
Yes.
Then that's it. That's the whole battle. All he would have to do is tell him to stop.
I'm just also saying too that I think the major general who has studied countless fights over a longer period of time than what Iroh would have.
Why would he have? Iroh is now immortal in the spirit world.
I
So
guess, but
there you go.
this battle
Iroh's
isn't
dead
going
and that
on
guy's
in
not.
No, that's not a.
1890s.
That's
But what I'm saying is, I bet that the major general from Pirates of Penzance has studied more battles of different types of warfare about things that aren't even. I mean, and granted, like I think airbending and firebending and all those other things are something that like the major would just be completely blown away by. But now let's pit late 1800s, early 1900s warfare against even the best Fire Nation army.
I would argue that they are similar in tactics.
But see, here's the thing.
They are similar in tactics.
We're getting off topic here because it's
the
a wit.
exact topic. It's battle of wits. It's moving chess pieces.
And I think that, I mean, someone who's studied.
We're blurring the lines here because you're taking battle of wits based on battle of chess pieces for a physical fight.
No. I think in that sense, I would say the person who can throw fire would win. But that's again, that's.
And
not,
I would too. I would definitely, if they were in a fist fight, Iroh hands down. But what I'm saying is, my guy is well versed and studied in a lot of different things, including tactics and strategy. In fact, one of the lines he specifically quotes.
Here you go, Dale. Is Iroh a man of integrity?
yes,
You think
I think so.
he would listen to somebody who's superior or who outranks him? And I guarantee that, and that's the reasoning why I'm saying
No, I don't think he would because he doesn't listen to. He gets banished by the Fire Nation Lord, which technically is his brother, right?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, at the time, it's his father that
yeah.
passes him up and goes to his brother. And then his brother, yes, eventually calls him a traitor of the Fire Nation.
So, I mean, at a certain point, he no longer has to listen to it.
I just think that, unfortunately to Iroh, there have been strategies of war that have played out that in modern real war that
Modern real war. This is a fictional world, dude.
I understand.
modern warfare.
But I'm just saying that I think that the major general would be able to outsmart Iroh in as far, I mean, just battle tactics and in, whether it's chess or whatever rules you want to put in there. I mean, if they were playing Pai Sho, sure, Iroh wins because Pai Sho is complicated as hell. I've tried playing it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, sure, he could do that. And even then, even if it was Pai Sho, like, even in the lyrics, and this is the only reason why I picked it, because these lyrics, like this song is hilarious. The lyrics are hilarious. He says he like sat down and can do like he knows like ancient Babylonian, like he's studied like Babylonian texts.
Well, I mean, if Drew picks, I'm not gonna. I'm just trying to battle my case. I'm not actually angry or anything.
I know.
But okay. I honestly thought me saying General Iroh would give me an up on it, but
I picked a major general.
Yeah.
But the fact that we both picked military men, though,
yeah,
like without knowing this, makes it so funny. And the fact that Drew gave it to me because I picked a major general over a general.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna look into Iroh because he's only considered General Iroh.
He is considered General Iroh. He's also
but like a lot of generals that aren't major.
Grand Lotus as well.
He's what now?
He's a Grand Lotus as well. One of like 5 ever known Grand Lotuses.
Mm. So let's see. Youngest general in the United Force. Am I looking at the right thing?
You're looking at other General Iroh. The United Forces are from Legend of Korra.
Yeah. So not what I'm looking for.
So you're looking at Iroh's grandson.
Ah.
Or no, grandnephew.
Okay. So retired farmer. Confrontation. Wait. Isn't he a prince?
I said he was a prince.
So wouldn't that outrank a major general?
No, because he was technically not. He's no longer a prince anymore.
Well, he's no longer a general either.
I mean, yes, but
You sent me General Iroh.
That's
You
true.
didn't say excommunicated.
You're right.
Not a general anymore. General Iroh.
You're right. I did. I sent you. I was more referring to his whole thing, but he was.
at least general wasn't a title that he was stripped of, whereas prince was a title he was stripped of.
So my question is, like, I know a lot of people like don't when they say I'm general, you have like 1, 2, 3, or 4 stars.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't actually say what star there. So major general would be a 3-star.
I believe so.
So there is discrepancy in some factions. Lieutenant is better than lieutenant is the 3rd star, and major is the 2nd star.
Okay.
And in some, major is the 3rd star and lieutenant's the 2nd. So it just depends. However, both lieutenant and major outrank the 1-star general.
Yeah.
Brigadier. Brigadier is the 4th star.
No, that's Brigadier's not 4th. Brigadier's 1.
I think brigadier's 4th.
Brigadier would be the highest ranking general in some factions or some
I'm
outfits.
an idiot then.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
All right, so that was this week's first ever nerd battle.
Nerd
Drew, have you
battle.
prepared a scenario for next week?
So yes, next week we will do a battle of.
You can set up just like a regular battle scenario too, by the way,
Oh,
because I think that would be kind of
I got a
fun.
cramp in my toe. So
Or like give restrictions like can't fly or can't do stuff.
Dale's character is defending against Josh's character on his home turf.
So you have a 1-star general is a brigadier general, 2-star general, major general, 3-star general, lieutenant general. Obviously, those can be switched. However, 4-star is general of the army.
that's not true.
What do you mean that's not? What do you mean that's not true?
What does brigadier mean?
Bird usually, bird army or bird general.
Hmm.
Yeah. Brigadier, 1-star, pay grade 07. At least this is for thing.
No,
Ranks above a colonel and below major general. So that's what Wikipedia is telling me. But that is in the
This said brigadier.
let's just go with next week's topic because we're running.
yeah we're running long. So
Yeah, we are.
so next week, what add-in are you going to add to that?
So we're going to do a battle of physical abilities. So it will be
So no magic, no
magic, no nothing. So basically brute strength.
Okay.
So we're going to do. I guess we'll call it a battle of strength. Physical abilities would be kind of limited to anything, I think, or would broaden us to anything. But we're going to do a battle of pure strength. So we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to do. Well, let's say. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to put. Well, how do you guys think we should do this? Should I give you a couple parameters that we should lifting power, and because then you could just pick. You might pick the same character.
If we do pick the same character at that point in time, then
Whoever texted first.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just gets that character.
yeah, and then I'll tell whoever. No, that's not gonna work.
because if we guess the same character,
I would have to say.
if we guess the same character, it's just going to be a tie, I guess, at that point in time.
Well, then no. If we pick the same character, just tell us both, and we'll pick new characters.
Yeah, I'll say.
Oh, okay.
I'll just.
And then neither of us can pick that character again.
Yeah.
I
think that's the fairest.
But what I was gonna say is, if I put so a couple things are gonna be critiqued on is like lifting power and this and that. That's obviously not something that then you guys could pick based on that, and then. So what I'm just gonna say physical the strength combat. Pick somebody based on that, and then
strength combat.
Yeah, so like
okay, so it's not just like strongman competition.
It's not a strongman competition.
Strength.
No, it's like it's a battle. So
it's a hand-to-hand combat.
Yes, but
so strength, speed, agility would all be factors.
Yeah, but not like physical combat, which would be like throwing. I guess I don't know.
Ability to use swords.
Yeah, just hand-to-hand combat, and that solely. Please have your entries to me by Tuesday. Pick by Tuesday, so I have plenty of time to work that.
Cool.
So a couple bits here. I have not seen it yet. However, Dale and Josh both have. Avengers Endgame set a new record for opening weekend at $1.2 billion. Just for $1 billion.
And that number is expected to increase slightly, not by much, just because weekend's not over.
Yeah. So, but they've already set the record. So, is that now the highest grossing opening weekend?
By a large margin, yes.
Yeah. So, I would have liked to add to that number. However, we just didn't have time this weekend.
Meanwhile, Emperor Palpatine's like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
It's going to Star Wars, guys. I'm calling it right now.
No way.
Oh yeah, Rise of Skywalker. It's gonna
maybe,
dude. It's gonna be Endgame.
I think this will be bigger.
I think more people are into Endgame. It's a 10-year deal. Like people who saw. I don't know.
So as of today,
you cannot say that Star Wars is better than a 10-year deal because they took a 10-year hiatus.
No. I'm just reading the stats for that.
I was talking to Josh. Josh is giving me a.
I'm saying the fact that even if you want to count in between, like the hiatus time, the time between the first three, the second three, and then now these three is still greater than 10 years. And it is the final of those stories.
Wait, I don't understand what the argument is about.
So the Marvel, the Avengers, that's basically started 10, it's 10-year.
2008, yep.
Yeah, it's 10-year ramp, right? So I said they're closing
2008.
Huh?
May 2nd, 2008.
So they're closing a 10-year, storyline.
Yep.
And Josh said, yeah, but Star Wars is a 20-year storyline or whatever. But
regardless how long it is, it's how invested the fans are.
But see, here's the thing: is you had 3 years between each of the original trilogy, I think, right?
70.
I don't know.
It was almost a decade in between. All like
real quick, I want to read you the numbers for who has the most, and then who had number 2. So who is it overtaking?
We know who it is.
No, for each of these sections.
Okay.
So these are all the ones they broke through. Domestic gross is $350 million over last year's Infinity War of $257 million. So another $100 million more. International gross is $859 million, which is the 2017 Fast and the Furious, which was $443 million. So that doesn't include U.S. sales for some reason. I don't know why that's in here then. But that's still like $860 million for international, not including domestic.
And what was Star Wars? What did that gross?
Star Wars?
Yeah. Is it even on there anymore?
No.
Or The Force Awakens wasn't on there?
No.
For opening week?
Nope. Let's see. Opening, rank, movies. Biggest box office. So, Star Wars Force Awakens was number 3 at 247. And where Avengers Infinity War was 257. So it was another 10 million more.
Yeah.
But this one is obviously a lot larger.
So what I meant though you've got 24 at this point. This is the 23rd or 24th movie in a 10-year time frame. Whereas Star Wars in the Skywalker storyline is You've got 6 movies or 8 movies with the 9th coming in with the 2 anthology films.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at half of the films. I think there's a larger disconnect between Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans than there is against Marvel fans and DC fans, because DC fans will still see a Marvel movie, but Star Trek fans are not going to watch a Star Wars movie half as often. That being said,
I have the stats for all the movies that came out for Star Wars.
We're looking at the release dates. So
yeah, so
I was gonna say, because I think in terms of like dollar, if you count for inflation, I bet the Star Wars franchise has amassed more money than
solely on the movies,
the Marvel
maybe
Cinematic Universe.
I agree with that, just because of the time frame. Because like back in the day, they had like, Mark Hamill would come on, news things, and that was a big deal. Now if he goes on and no one gives a shit.
Whoa.
When was the last time you watched a late night show?
So
not on YouTube. Not on YouTube.
Oh, then no.
Exactly.
So here's the thing is they did, and Star Wars did 3 movies over a 6-year time frame twice, and then 3 movies over they're going to do 3 movies over, and for the Skywalker trilogy, they're going to do 3 movies over a 5-year timeline the next time. Marvel, for the Avenger, like for the whole cinematic universe, we're doing 3 movies a year for the last basically decade.
And I'm going to say that even if they were doing 3 movies a year in their total release time, I bet Star Wars has made more money than the MCU has.
Oh, I disagree with that.
I bet.
If you're only counting the film and residual sales from movie, probably not. I'm gonna say no.
So you're including any merchandise
No, I'm saying films.
So you're saying just box office opening week.
And
I would say
residual
just
movie sales.
Box office in general, I bet made more money for Star Wars, including re-releases and everything else. If you do all that, I bet, because I mean Star Wars, the original 3 used to be one of the top, were almost the top grossing films for a long time until Avatar came along,
and then until
Avengers, and until the couple cinematic Marvel movies. But there are a couple Marvel movies.
I mean, Fast and the Furious pushed them out.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that. I just think that in total billions, I'd like to just put them all in an Excel spreadsheet.
Speaking
That's
of
what
which,
I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, real quick, do we want to do I know we didn't do this for Avengers, but do we want to do that for a movie night for Rise of Skywalker?
I mean, if we can.
Nah, we did it last year or the first year.
I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I mean, we really didn't spend any money. We barely spent money on it.
I've honestly been using my Marcus Movie rewards points for it up until like yesterday. Actually, yeah, I used my last $7 of my rewards points to go see Endgame.
We didn't spend any money doing the movie night.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I mean, besides like pizza,
besides
pizza
costs
shit
that we were then.
I'm not gonna. Should I include Endgame in the numbers?
I mean, yeah, because if we're going to include Rise of Skywalker, if we think that that's going to beat, well, here, hold off on Endgame.
I'll exclude
Endgame after Endgame, and then because then that way we could see how much does Rise of Skywalker need to make to be able to beat Endgame.
I have the list of all the movies we did because I wrote it down for one of my questions last week. Remember that? So I actually have all of them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so next bit we're gonna get out of this. Let's just touch on this real quick. PC gamers can now play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild via an emulator. It's not an official release. Dale is going to definitely help me get this going because I really want the emulator on my computer so I can fucking do it. That being said, it can also do first person instead of third person only, which is exciting. So Dale's going to help me do that, and then we're going to try that out. What's up?
I watched a review for the Labo VR and we didn't even post that.
Oh, we talked about Labo VR last week or 2 weeks ago.
Now it's out.
Oh,
is reviewing it?
Oh, I didn't know that people were. I knew it was out, but I didn't know. And then next, we're gonna get into some science news. We're gonna kind of blow through this. Dale, are you ready to answer your science question?
I am.
Josh, are you ready to ask your science question?
I am. It's a two-parter.
Okay.
Drew, are you ready to facilitate this? Yes, I am. All right. Dale, your science question is:
What is a decibel, and what is significant about its scale?
Dale, hands up.
What do you mean?
So you're not Googling anything.
You're not Googling
Oh,
it.
okay, hold on. Hands up. I'm like, why? Decibel is used to measure sound, right?
Yes.
But I actually have no idea of its meaning as far as like how it's actually measured. I would assume it has something to do with its.
So an object that is 10 times higher in decibels, what does that mean to its sound? So the difference between 30 and 300 decibels, for instance.
Yeah. I would say that its height is more, but I don't understand how that would correlate to physical space.
Decibels are a weird thing, and for sound, I will say this: they're not. It's an SI unit, but it's not an SI unit based off of. Well, I guess it is now universal, but
I would say it's distance in millimeters, or I would say it's correlation to its distance.
Mike, Dale.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would say it's correlation between its distance in size. I don't know what to call it. It's not like a period.
Your decibels just increased when you shortened the distance between the mouth and the mic.
Oh, so is it literally distance between that?
Oh, dang it! Did I give that away?
Well, I would assume it has something to do with like how a period is on a wave. I would assume that it's just the exact opposite of that, but then vertical.
It's the speed.
It's not always the speed, but
Speed. What do you mean by speed?
it is. So it's the unit to measure the intensity of sound. So, like you said, the increase in the wave function, or the power level of the electronical signal, by comparing it to a given level on a logarithmic scale. So the thing that matters the most is it's logarithmic. So getting closer to the mic increase. So if I get 10 times closer to the mic, or my decibel level will increase logarithmically instead of linearly or exponentially.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that's significant about the scale of the decibel. So something
thinking about that, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was logarithmic.
So an object that is 10 times louder or 10 times higher decibels will have the sound equivalent to being 100 times closer to you.
So how does it be measured? How does it get measured then?
It was originally measured in a sense. It was originally measured by being like, okay, here's the level at 10 feet away. Here's the level at 20 feet away.
So what's the standard? I mean, for like what is base zero, if you will? That's my thing. I wouldn't know what it's from.
That's what I don't like necessarily about the decibel scale. That's why I picked it, because it's not one of those things where you're just like, oh, it's at zero. So at zero decibels is 1 times the power of something.
Okay,
and its amplitude would be considered 1.
So that's my question: is what is 1 decibel?
So 1 decibel is 1.259 times the power.
Here, Dale, I'll show you what 1 decibel is.
Of what?
It depends what you're talking about.
Here is 1 decibel. Here is -8 decibels.
I'm looking at how you were changing pitch too.
I'm looking at my because
the pitch has nothing to do.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. That's my thing, is that pitch wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Your pitch wouldn't have, and that's the reason why they use decibels.
But look,
I understand that the way we're measuring decibels in here, it's because you're probably giving it more amplitude when you increase your pitch.
I guess you're right.
It's one of the things that I hated the most about.
So that's my thing, is that it has to be measured in a certain way, and so there has to be.
It's a relational concept. It's not so it is a ratio always.
This is my voice.
Oh, gotcha.
What?
So that's why I don't like decibels, as far as like they are an SI unit. It technically is true, but it's always in relation to either intensity of sound at the same length or different lengths away at the same intensity.
This is my voice. This is my voice 1 foot away.
Used to measure the intensity of sound.
This is my voice.
By
1 inch away from the mic.
Kind of logarithmic scale.
This is my voice.
Stop it.
True. So then, what are the, like you're saying, logarithmic?
Yeah.
What are the values for it? So you have F and F0, measured field, reference field.
Dale, do you think you got it right? Did you get it right, or did you give it to him? Dale, do you think you got it right?
So I think I got it right, but
I definitely I know you got the first part right for sure.
I definitely, like, even now, still looking at all this, I would say I got it right, but I'm still confused at it.
Good. Welcome to
science.
The math works out fine. My issue is, what is the two quantities I'm measuring against? So is I'm measuring between distance and distance, so it's just a distance formula?
It can be.
Or is it a distance versus sound?
It can be.
That's what I'm confused about.
That's why it was a challenging question for me to ask you. Yeah. Because I found that sound is one of the weirdest things when we talk about decibels. And I was explaining to a customer today, he's like, well, this one's 300 decibels, this one's 290 decibels, like which one's better? And I was like, well, technically, like, you'd think that 300, there's only a difference of 10 there, but technically 300 decibels is a lot louder than just plus 10 decibels more.
It's not a linear thing.
Yeah,
which I did know. I wouldn't have called it logarithmic, but I wouldn't have got there though. I would have said exponential, if anything.
Which would have been wrong.
I understand that.
All right, so Dale, or what are we saying? Dale, did you get it?
So a lot of this is funny. So a lot of other measurements, they actually measure in decibel hertz.
Yep,
that would make more sense.
The frequency.
What about gigahertz?
What
about gigahertz?
What about gigahertz?
What does gigahertz?
What does gigahertz?
Yeah.
Are you talking about like the period between them, or the frequency?
Yeah. It was just a joke.
Oh.
Decibel hertz.
Yeah, so if you look at the decibel volts and the decibel watts is another way to look at it as well.
What about quantum watts?
Quantum decibels?
What about quantum watts? All right.
Yeah, it has to have, that's the thing. If it has a reference to it, makes sense. Because it's a ratio between the two values, but
in the references. Yeah. It's
all right, we got to move on.
Dale, we gave it to you, Dale. We gave it to you. You know what a decibel was.
Okay.
All right, so
no one understands logarithms. If you think you know logarithms, you're just pretending.
All right, so next bit here is kind of hits close to home. Nebraska is the most vaccinated state per capita.
Take that, herpes.
Yeah, take that. Sickness and gross people.
What?
Vax people.
That's right.
Vaxxers. And I guess I didn't see anything about this, but I guess President Trump urges vaccinations for the first time since election.
Yeah, it's the first time he's publicly come out and been like, hey, start getting your kids vaccinated, because we're now so there have been more cases of
#420 Blaze it.
Yeah. More cases. I don't know.
Oh, it's 421
referred to. Oh, what time it is? Okay. There's been more cases of measles right now in the United States 4 months in than there has been since we eradicated measles technically in 2008. I think it was the last time.
2011, 2008.
I don't know. One of these. So at one point in time, it was like, hey, no more measles in the United States. Fantastic. And then it's like, hey, guess what? Measles are back. And now it's the highest level it has been in years. There's more people with measles now than there have been that have gotten measles over the last like 3 or 4 years.
Measles cases in the U.S. are highest since measles was eliminated in 2000.
2000. Man, it's even longer than I thought it was.
U.S. health officials have recorded 695 cases of measles in 22 states since it was eradicated.
I think it's now in the 700s.
Yeah, I mean
that's what I was seeing.
That's only 5 more to get to the 700s. So,
but yeah, that was what I saw. That President Trump, for the first time, is like, hey, let's start getting vaccinated, people. Urging people to get vaccinated, not necessarily just being like, vaccines, they're okay if you believe in them. I'm just trying to get votes. More so like, hey, get vaccinated. Yeah. So kudos to Donald Trump. I would not have thought that would be something he would take a stand against, especially since his stand against climate change.
He can't put people on his golf course or in his hotels if everybody's dead. So, it's for the greater good.
Can't put people in Trump Tower right now. What?
Boom. Posted.
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of a cool sciencey fact about Nebraska being one of the highest vaccination rates. And in all honesty, so I think a lot of people that are falling victim to not being vaccinated, a lot of these measles cases are found in places where the religious excuse is more predominant. And I would say that Nebraska is pretty homogenous for religious practices.
You're not supposed to say that word.
That's why I said homogenous instead of homogeneous. But I think everyone's pretty well spread in the same religion for most of Nebraska, or no religion. But even then, those people still like getting vaccinated.
Yeah, we do.
It's one of those things where like there's not a huge community of so in New York, it's a specific Jewish sect that does not, and it's not even like the Jewish sect's like, hey, we totally want people to get vaccinated. It's nothing against our religion to get vaccinated, but there's people that prescribe to that sect that are like, oh, says we can't get vaccinated, so we're not going to get vaccinated. And the leaders are like, no, get vaccinated. Totally. They're like, nope, can't get vaccinated. And then that's where we're seeing this large spread, and especially New York. So I don't want to say that like it's all just like religion saying don't get vaccinated.
I think next week, and I think I'm okay with talking about this. You guys want to talk about vaccines next week?
Yeah, a little more. Yeah, since we can't talk too much about it because we've wasted our time with herpes talk.
Yeah, I think I would like to talk about. Okay, we'll talk about more next week.
Yeah, maybe we can go looking for somebody who's anti-vax and somebody who's.
Yeah, I know a couple of people.
Yeah, I
know a few people.
Yeah, and just figure out, if we can have them on the podcast or if they can be quoted as their opinion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily drag people through the mud.
No.
But I
would like to be like Joe Rogan in the sense where not like...
I just don't want to give anti-vax necessarily like a voice for to be the potential that it has equal voice. Because it shouldn't at this point in time. Like I'm completely okay with the suppression of the belief of anti-vax. I don't think it needs to spread any further than it has been.
Yeah, but at this point, like there's like
it can get way worse.
At this point, a good shaming might help.
But I don't know who's going to subject themselves to being shamed on a podcast.
I know a lot of people.
And I don't want to be that podcast who's just shaming someone into belief.
No, that's like the counterculture podcast.
I just don't want to shame someone into a belief either. I would much rather be like, hey, are you open to learn more about vaccines?
Maybe.
And you haven't made your mind up on vaccines yet. What are some of your concerns? Can we help answer some of those questions? And I would like, if we spent some time having that conversation with someone, I would like to do it that way, but I wouldn't want it to turn. So
we're looking for somebody who's on the fence.
Yeah. Agnostic about the ideas of vaccines. I guess.
Some undecided.
Who doesn't have kids? Because I think that's really sensitive.
Or who's going to have kids? Like, somebody might potentially be on the fence because they're about to have a kid and they're not sure one way or another.
Yeah. I'd like to get someone on the podcast to talk about that. I think that would be cool. And we could save it for next week or maybe 2 weeks down the road.
do our due diligence.
Yeah, because like I said, I'd like to be able to come in there and be like, hey, here's where you said I'm anti-vax because this, and this. Now let's try to answer those questions. And maybe if we make it a 2-parter episode, one episode to just talk about, hey, here's why I believe what I believe. I would like answers to this, and this, and then boom, here we go. Let's give you answers. Yeah. I think that would be cool if we could find someone like that. I would love to have a conversation and turn it into a teachable moment, not a shaming moment.
Wow, let's shame them anyway. Let's shame the people who do believe, though. Like we can make the person who's on the fence about it. Like we can make them think vaccines are awesome and everything like that. Let's shame the shit out of those people who don't vaccinate their kids.
Full transparency. I literally posted on my personal Facebook the other day my opinion about people that don't believe in vaccines. I said, they need to pick a new hill to die on, literally and physically, to the point where literally and I didn't say literally and physically because that means the same thing.
So when I said let's talk next week, you guys decided to talk this week.
No, we're not. We're just teasing. This is a teaser.
Yeah.
You just cut this clip out and
put it on
YouTube.
I'm not doing that.
And especially after what this guy just said.
Dale's going to get
your poop mouth.
Dale's going to get us a real good numbers graph on his research for the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe, and he'll toss that up on the website, the Facebook page. But I think that wraps it up for us. We're doing a lot of stuff here. We got a lot of good talking in. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Sexy Nerd Science Season 5.
Make sure to like us and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Don't forget to check out our merch on Teespring and support us on Project Nerd Patreon at patreon.com/projectnerd.